Hi again, this is Mike, the Philosopher Engineer. Today is May 21st, 2020, and today's topic, welcome to another episode of Technical and Tactical. The topic for today is scoping analysis, and I'll dig into that in just a minute and the importance of it. It's probably one of the most important topics within our theme this week, which is taking action. For the month of May, we've been focused on the theme of prepare for growth. I think that's a great way to look at what's going on. The coronavirus seems to be fading away a little bit, hopefully. I'm going to blame everything on the coronavirus for a while, including my lack of haircut and the rest of it. But anyways, we're in the month of May, Mayflowers. We're preparing for growth, and we have 4 weekly themes. The first week we focused on purpose, because we always should have a purpose for our project and for our actions and all things we do, and that purpose should be aligned. The second week we focused on process. What does that look like to go about the project? What is that process for defining things, collecting data, analyzing data, making decisions, and taking action? And then this week we're focused on action and taking action. And what I'm going to get into is probably one of the most important topics if you have an engineering project or a technical project, and that is scoping analysis. Now I'm putting this under technical and tactical because it's really a math-driven thing, and engineering with an engineering focus. But this is probably a very important topic for the executive team, or certainly anyone who's leading engineering teams. I want to start with this idea that it's really about doing the math. It's not analyzing the scope, it's the scope of the analysis. And the first point that I make to most of my clients is the right amount of analysis is never zero. You always do some level of analysis. But the thing about scoping analysis is that's your first analysis, your first calculation, the first time you do math on a function or part. On the process side, we identify every single function, and we do an analysis on every function. And then we also do analysis on every component to make sure it can withstand the loads or functions or circumstances that it's operating. So you're analyzing every function and every part. It's kind of simple. But the good news about scoping analysis is that's the simplest analysis. It can be a math equation that calculates it. It can be a finite element analysis. It could be a number of different things. But the right amount of analysis is never zero. And that first analysis is very simple. And the whole purpose of it is to understand where you are. It's just to gauge where you are with each function. And you're really looking for whether it's way over designed or maybe it's under designed, and it drives your priorities for all of your engineering work. So imagine that if you analyze everything, you find out, wow, this part is 400% stronger than it needs to be. Well, that's great, and maybe that's all the analysis you need to do, but you had to do that first analysis to quantify it. When I say scoping analysis, we're quantifying each of these things. The closer you get in terms of design margin, which is kind of my big focus, margin drives reliability, margin drives risk. So we're really doing risk management. The scoping analysis is our first pass at risk management across the board, or risk analysis. And then we rank everything. So in manufacturing, most of you have probably heard of Pareto analysis. Well, Pareto charts basically rank everything. And what we want to do is use Pareto all the time. We do Pareto on everything, and it's from quantifying that information. Now, some people you may have seen in a presidential race, there was this fellow named Andrew Wang. I'm going to mess up his name. But anyways, he had a button that says, I love math. Well, I'm one of those guys. I love math. But you don't have to love math. You just have to find somebody to do that math, and the computer really does a lot of the hard work. All right, so scoping analysis is all about setting priorities so we know where to apply our engineering resources and scrutiny and rigor. We may have to fix a problem, or we may have to analyze it more carefully and go through multiple iterations. But the right amount of analysis, the right amount of math is never zero. And this allows us to plan all of our work. So when I say taking action, this scoping analysis is really the first step on the technical side to take action. And then we repeat and we identify a risk, and we share that obviously with the team. It's a collaborative process. Knowledge is a team sport. Everybody brings this information back together, and we quantify it, and then we're able to prioritize and have a plan of action. And that's how we continue to develop our roadmap. So what I talk about with Pareto is ranking, is we rank, we re-rank, and we repeat. Rank, re-rank, and repeat. This drives almost everything. And then that information will help us identify the risk areas or design weaknesses or flaws, and then we can attack those. And most problems, once they're identified, they can be solved. And if you can't solve it internally, you can get some help from the outside. The whole idea of the right amount of analysis is never zero. I say the same thing about consultants. The right amount of consultants is never zero. It's always good to have some outside resources. It's not practical to have every single resource as an employee. Sometimes you need a very particular level of expertise for only a short time period, but that expertise will make or break the whole project. So it's just common sense to have, some expertise. But back to the analysis. We're doing this analysis, we're doing calculations, and then we're planning our testing as well, and then we have design refinement. So in the three areas of engineering which I focus on is design, testing, and analysis. All three of those are part of our work. And we plan our work and we take action with a logic. So in this case, we kind of have this logic behind our action. And we talked about purpose, why are we doing this? And then we have a logic of how we're going to do that, how we're going to rank that work. Well, I think I hit that pretty fast. I'm sorry if I spoke a little bit fast, but scoping analysis is really that first big step to frame the engineering landscape, the technical landscape. And it can be done on paper, it can be done in Excel sometimes, it could be done in MathCAD or MATLAB. And then finite element analysis is very common nowadays, and it's much easier to use than it was in the past. The computers are powerful. These tools are very powerful. It makes all the sense in the world to utilize them better and strategically. And I think that's part of the problem. We have all these tools, all this capability, but we're not sure how to strategically apply them. And you can 3D print things in a few hours or a few days. You can do this analysis in a short time period as well. But our project management and how we organize these projects hasn't caught up with all that capability. And that's why I'm here and talking about these things, is there's a logic and a structure to make the most use out of those tools in an effective way. And it makes sense to do a simple analysis first to kind of frame it. And then the amount of investment of time and energy and budget, because it's all really ultimately a return on investment, you have a logic behind that and a proportionality. I use the term, the principle of proportionality. As we need some kind of logic to know how to apply scrutiny in proportion to the risk. Well, I think that's it for now. I think this is really good on taking action. I know there's been fewer videos, but this is probably one of the more important points, maybe the most important point on this, and it helps you plan and budget and find problems proactively. We're all about proactive engineering, finding problems, not waiting for them to find you. And that makes everything goes faster. So our mission is to accelerate product development, but we do that by being proactive and not waiting for problems. So when we find the problems, instead of them finding us, we can solve them quicker, and the entire project goes faster because we're not guessing. All right, have a wonderful day. I've enjoyed the conversation. We'll continue again soon. And stay safe out there. Thank you.